Good morning, wonderful beings. Nobody's going to say good morning back. Okay, thank you. It's December, a month which is aligned with expectation and wonder is the theme of the UUA this whole month. When I think of wonder, I think of it as a verb of curiosity more than I think of the sense of awe. I wonder is a way I start a whole lot of sentences and questions. And recently, though, the two senses of the word have blended a bit for me as I've been wondering about the transformative nature and wonder of love. Way back when I was a young Army lieutenant, a fellow young Army lieutenant and I were having a discussion about how to eliminate the world's conflicts. I told my friend that if I had unlimited power, I would imbue everyone with the confidence to feel worthy of being loved and capable of loving others well. He kind of looked at me oddly. This answer was nowhere near standard military science. But I stand by that answer. I wonder what the world would look like if every person on the planet felt worthy of the love offered and free to offer the love they have. Father Greg Boyle of Homeboy Industries says that hate is not the opposite of love. Fear is. I agree with him. Fear is often what gets in the way of love. We humans hesitate to offer love for fear it would be rejected or misinterpreted in some way. In this season of expectation and wonder, I'm going to try and communicate the love I feel for so many beings more clearly. I'm going to try and listen for love underlying interactions and try and hear through the fear, mine or others, that may be obscuring that love. I'm wondering how trying to do that will change me. Come, let us wander in wonder together through worship this morning.
Love and wonder. Can't live without it. I light the chalice this morning as we surround ourselves in the love of this community, as we clothe ourselves in the wonder of the season and the wonder of life itself. Love and wonder.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community Church of Santa Monica. My name is Sue Bickford. I'm your worship associate this morning, and we're delighted to have you all present with us wherever you are, here in the sanctuary or in our online sanctuary from communities across the LA Basin or around the United States and beyond. We're glad you're here. If you're here in person today, we ask that you kindly silence your cell phone if you haven't done that already. Not to not use your cell phone anymore. We used to think that was rude, but now it's part of the service, right? You do all that stuff, but just make it silent. Whether you're new to our community or you've been here for some time, you can find many ways to learn more about our community and become involved on our website, UUSM.org. And if you're here in person today, you can check out the info at the tables, maybe outside depending on the rain today, and talk to the volunteers for ways to be involved and learn more about our faith. We offer programs to serve the needs of our congregation and be of service to the larger world, including broad religious exploration and personal development for people of all ages. We also join with other social justice advocates to work for justice and harmony in our world, and this month we'll focus on UNICEF. Unitarian Universalism is not defined by creed or dogma, but is guided by principles that affirm the worth and dignity of every person and encourage an individual search for truth and meaning. We honor the wonder of existence and believe that we are all connected to each other and to the interdependent web of life. Our beliefs are drawn from scripture and science, nature and philosophy, personal experience and ancient tradition. We are open, affirming, and a welcoming congregation, diverse in backgrounds, identities, spiritualities, and philosophies of life. We are united in our desire to increase an inclusive, beloved community, to live the principles of our faith, and to serve the wider world. Whatever your beliefs or faith tradition, we invite you to help us build a community where together in our diversity we may covenant in love and justice. May you find comfort, camaraderie, and inspiration here. As we gather in this space and in our virtual spaces, we recognize we are connected with one another through the winds that give air to all beings and through the waters that move deep into the earth and up into the sky. We acknowledge that the ground beneath our feet is and always has been the home of indigenous peoples here, such as the Tongva, many of whom have been forcibly relocated to other lands. They remain committed to the stewardship of these lands over centuries, and we are honored and grateful to be here on traditional lands today. And now the announcements. Our consulting minister, Reverend Kikanza, is working with the Youth RE team to cast a vision for the religious education for the youth of the community. And part of that process is to hear the stories about what has worked and not worked in our past. Our program was severely disrupted by COVID. Please come to a meeting with Reverend Kikanza Nuri-Robins in person or by Zoom to speak in a group or one-to-one, and you're in luck. There is one today here in the sanctuary at 12:15. And if you prefer Zoom, then tomorrow there's a Zoom wind down at 7 p.m. The information can be found on the information blast or on the website. For our adult RE, there's a Zoom workshop today from 4:30 to 6 for those who have already taken Beloved Conversations. I think Amy is running that one. Is that true? Amy Brunel's running that. And this week there is a First Sundays Visitor Meetup at 11:45. Whether you're looking for social justice activities, small group meetings, or just some inner peace, this is the time for questions and answers. And I do not have the information of who's running that. Can somebody tell me that? Norm Ritchie's running that. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
It's not in Ford, it's in the cottage.
It's going to be in the cottage? Okay. I can't be in the cottage today. The owl people are there. So it's in Forbes. Okay, there we go. It's there. And lunches for bunches. Every Sunday, UUs of all ages gather to assemble lunches for our homeless neighbors in Santa Monica. It's one of the UUSM's core faith and action programs, but the funds are running low. So we're going to ask you to donate to the Hunger Fund. And here's a fun way to do that today. We're having a Hunger Fund pop-up sale at 11:30, which I assume is in Forbes as well. It's right there. So you can shop for your friends or family. There's purchase holiday ornaments, greeting cards, gently wreaths, jewelry, all that goes to the Hunger Fund. So there you go, shopping and giving all in once. Please see our website, uusm.org, or an e-newsletter for more details about these. And there's other church events too, we just can't name them all. So now please rise in body and spirit for our opening hymn, What a Wonderful World. They'll be up here. We hope you know the tune. and remain standing for the covenant and the hymn of praise.
Good morning, everyone. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with each other. Esta iglesia, buscar la verdad es su sacramento y el servicio es la oración. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar el conocimiento en la libertad, servir a la humanidad en comunión. Así es como convenimos unos a otros. If you have a donation for the Westside Food Bank, we ask that you bring it forward this time to place in our basket. We've been partners with this food bank for lots of years. If you'd like to donate food, please bring items they use in large quantities like pasta and pasta sauce, things that aren't breakable though, juice, granola bars, protein bars, breakfast cereal to our collection each week. Our service to the world can be embodied right here each Sunday. All people, young people, and adults are encouraged to give. We'll now receive this morning's offering for the Westside Food Bank. And if anyone wants to stick with me up on the chancel this morning, the time for all ages, we have a little bit of question and answers. If not, I'll get you in your seats. Okay, it's there. So we're going to play a little game this morning called I Wonder. It can be played with any ages, and it goes like this. Okay, here are the rules. You're on a television show, and you're offered a choice of 2 doors to open. If you open door number 1, you receive $1 million. That's right, $1 million, all for just you. If you open door number 2, then 10 of your neighbors will get $1 million. 10 of your neighbors will get $1 million. And they can't share it with you. Those are the rules. They cannot share it with you. You can't make a contract, nothing else. They are legally bound to not give any to you. All 10 of your neighbors will become millionaires, but you won't. So I wonder, don't answer yet, which door would you open? Do you open door number 1, which makes you an instant millionaire, and only you? Or do you open door number 2, which makes 10 of your neighbors millionaires? Now I'm going to ask several people to volunteer to raise their hands and tell me what their choice is, but before you do that, know that I'm also going to ask you why you decided to do it as you did. And there's no judgment going on here. Because why is your why, okay? So think about it for a second, and then if you'd like to answer and tell me why, go ahead and raise your hand. Gila, yeah, you want to come up? So Gila's going to open door number 1 so she can control who that money goes to. Maybe she doesn't like her neighbors or something. Or she thinks there are other more worthy people than her neighbors. Anybody else? Cassie?
So originally, I was going to choose door number 2 because all of my neighbors would share with me. Because I love my neighbors and they love me. Then you said they couldn't share. And then I was thinking, but if they got the $1 million, then they would all move away and I wouldn't have lovely neighbors. And I've worked so hard to develop over time. And so I'm going to take the $1 million and I'll stay. And then we'll still be lovely neighbors.
Notice she didn't say she'd share it with them. So I'm sure Cassie would. And
So I guess I would do door number 2. In part, we don't need $1 million, and I feel like we're perfectly fine. But there are neighbors who need more money. Of course, $1 million is way too much. Hopefully that would be given in part to charity. But I think, and we definitely have neighbors who were, on the brink. And then there's all the homeless people in our neighborhood who might benefit from it. So we don't need, I don't want $1 million, but I would be very happy for people who do need it to get it.
And this is going to give it to all the surrounding people and see what they have. Yes, sir. Jerry.
Well, I would take number 1, and I would distribute $100,000 to 10 of my neighbors. I mean, 9 of my neighbors. Myself. Because we don't need $1 million.
There you go. Have you had your hand up, right?
My neighbors are all multi-millionaires. And I'm not. I would definitely keep the money, take number 1 and then give it to, the first thing popped into my head was how much the church needs that last $2,000 for the over year and different things that are happening in the church and different charities around. I think it'd be really fun. Some of you could use them.
So Beth's going to make sure that the church gets finished. That's good.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just give it to her. Go ahead.
I don't
Go ahead and
really,
stand up so we can.
sure, I'm not really big on money. So I would choose number 2, and there's a reason for that, because a lot of my neighbors in my building are from Ukraine, and I'd be wondering what they would do with the money. I'd be wondering the topic of today, what they would do.
That's lovely. A number of years ago, this is a long time ago when Judith was still here, somebody donated, I don't quite remember, I think it was $1,000. And if you had an idea how to take $100 of it and increase its value in the community, they just give you $100 to go increase its value in the community, which was interesting, and then report back on how people use it. It was really, the function of being generous was really, really interesting as we know. So you've heard it. Number one. Number two, there's no shaming about which way it goes. There's a lot of reasons to do it. This why helps us, if we talk about our whys, it helps us make choices and clarifies our motivations even for ourselves. There was a man named John Stuart Miller in the 1800s who used the term utilitarianism to talk about choosing actions that will create the greater happiness or the greatest good for the greatest number of people. And that's what you guys were all talking about. Nobody said, I was just going to keep it, right? Which door do you think John Stuart would open? Probably number 2, unless he didn't trust his neighbors. Yeah, right? And so that's the point of religion. It kind of gathering and talking and looking at our ethics and that stuff. It gives us ethical instructions like the Golden Rule. What do you think? Which door would the Golden Rule say to open? Do you think?
2.
Yeah, probably 2. Yeah. So most of you guys said 1, which is interesting, but and 2. But that was to give it away, to have more control and to give it away. So I think it was interesting. One of these things we do in this congregation is wonder about why we do the things we do a lot of the times. Our conversations and our questions are wondering are more important than the answers. Asking questions is important. I think that's why so many people are here rather than in the religions they grew up in. We hope that your time in RE, whoever's going to RE today, whether it's children now or adults later, is filled with questions so that you can be part of our wondering community. Thanks.
Okay, let's sing our youth out to their religious education classes. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you as you go, as you go on your way. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you. As you go on your way.
So this is a season of many joys and many sorrows. And this is the time in our service where we share our joys and sorrows with one another, because holding them in the light, holding them in prayer, holding them with the same energy brings comfort, brings peace, brings joy, multiplies the joy, and reinforces that we are indeed in community. Going to take a little risk and ask if you have a joy or sorrow that you can share briefly, like in one sentence, one short, simple sentence with us. We're going to try this out and see if it works this morning. And those of you who are worshiping with us online, you might put your joys and sorrows in the chat comment section. Yes.
I wanted to share a joy that my oldest daughter, Anna Olivia, won the Irwin Award at University of California, Santa Cruz. So she gets a large chunk of money. I don't think it's $1 million. It might be $1,000. But she gets a fully funded art installation to put up on campus. So now she gets to decide.
Wow. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Good job, Mom.
Well, I spoke with my 93-year-old aunt about 3 days
So may she rest in peace.
Her daughters were like sisters to me.
And may you find comfort in your memories. Yes, I can't tell who people are without my glasses and with your mask, so I'm just pointing.
Yesterday was the one-year anniversary of my husband David's death.
May you find comfort in your memories. So yes.
Just before Christmas, we went to Seattle to see our 16-year-old granddaughter have a lead role in the musical Mamma Mia. She was fantastic.
Whoa. Congratulations, proud grandparents. You're doing well. You're doing very well. So I have one sorrow. One of our beloved members of our community was taken to the hospital this weekend. Helen Brown is at St. John. I'm going to visit her after the RE meeting this afternoon. And whatever the news is, we will make sure that you know, because we love her so much. So let us pause and in the silence, take in the joys and the sorrows that we heard. Take in the joys and sorrows that are in your heart. Take in the joys and sorrows of the world. I thought it was interesting that so many people said, we don't need the money. We can share it, we can give it. So let us also take in, as we are planning our celebrations and activities and travel for this month, that we take in those who cannot and do not and will not, for whatever reason. Let us hold them all in the light. Our reading this morning is from someone whose name I always forget how to pronounce. Rainer Maria Rilke. Did I do it close? It's close enough. He says, have patience with everything unresolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves as if they were locked rooms or books written in a foreign language. Don't search for the answers, which could not be given to you now, because you would not be able to live them. The point is to live everything. Live the questions now. So this is the season of wonder, and I have lots of questions. When I was in elementary school, I loved reading about Christmas miracles. Stories about lost family members finding their way home, about dying people living just long enough to nudge their friends towards success that they didn't think they were going to have. I read about soldiers pausing their fighting to sing carols and share meals with the men in the enemy's army. I found these stories puzzling. I wondered, why only at Christmas? Why call it Christmas magic? If people could be nice to one another at Christmas time, why couldn't they be nice all year round? If soldiers could cease fighting for 24 hours, why wouldn't they just stop fighting altogether? And how strange is it to kill someone or try to kill someone you just sat next to at dinner? Not talking about your families, of course. As an adult, I continue to wonder, why is Christmas so important to people who aren't really into Jesus? Why is saying Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas such a point of contention for some people? And what does Merry mean anyway? I wonder why people spend so much time and so much money on Christmas presents. I wonder why people insist on giving things that are cheap or ugly or unwanted or totally unusable. I wonder why it's not okay just to buy what you want, or at least to ask for it. I wonder why I still get excited about Christmas lights. If you're riding with me and we pass a street with lots of lights, I'm making the turn. I wonder how the same music that I sang as a child, that I have listened to all my life, can still make me smile or fill me up until tears spill over. And yet I wonder, where are the other symbols of this season of lights? Right here in the sanctuary, for example. I wonder why I'm so bothered that we here at UUSM are not having church on Sunday, which is also Christmas Day. Every time I get worked up about something, because those who know me well know that I can grumble a lot, I have to pause and ask myself, what's it to you? Why is this such an issue to you, Kikanza? Why are you grumbling now? And if I'm honest, it usually has to do with some judgment that I have made about myself, some real or perceived failing in myself or others, some shortcoming, some fear. And you know, I wonder about more than just Christmas stuff. I wonder all year round. I wonder about getting old. I wonder if this headache is the beginning of a stroke. I wonder if this pain in my hip is the one that will put me in a wheelchair forever. I wonder if I will wake up in the morning. And I wonder if I do wake up, will I want to do more than just go back to sleep? I wonder if I will ever sleep through the night again. I sleep like a baby. I wake up every 2 hours. I wonder, thank you so much. I wonder about unexpected beauty. I looked up at the moon last week and I saw just this small crescent of light that was so beautiful I had to stop in wonder and awe. Recently, I saw some microscopic photos of snowflakes. What a wonder! Each one different, yet each one a tiny 8-sided mandala, each one a prayer circle. I wonder about the people who still don't get it, why pronouns are important, what white privilege is. I wonder why there is a hierarchy of oppression, BIPOC. Why are black people at the top of this pyramid? I wonder why society wants to define me by my marital status. What difference does it make if I'm married? I asked my new doctor. Oh, so we'll know if you have someone to take care of you. Ha! Being married. Being married does not assure one of a caregiver. Why don't you just ask, do you have someone who likes you enough to take care of you? My daughter told me recently that imposing dress codes on employees was colonial thinking. That work standards of perfectionism and urgency, worship of the written world, were icons of white supremacy. I wonder if those are my values. Does that make me a black colonial white supremacist? I wonder about the young people who, rather than taking responsibility for their commitments and being accountable for the work they do, become defensive and attack their critics, making us wrong for expecting them to work for a paycheck. A minister colleague of mine said that their music director didn't come to church one Sunday because they'd had a rough gig on Saturday night. Why didn't you call us? She asked. He said, I told you I had a rough night. It wasn't Sonder, for sure. I wonder how Google really works. I have a thought, or I mention something in conversation. I go to look something up on Google, and what I was thinking is right there in the search line. How do they do that? I wonder if you're tired of my wonderings. I wonder what you wonder about. I wonder if approaching the world with curiosity and wonder counts as being open and positive about life. Being a grouch comes naturally to me, but so does my wonder and awe of so many things and people around me. Each day is a journey of small things. I have a Chinese magnolia near my back porch, and most of the year it has lovely green leaves. Then in the late fall, the leaves turn brown and they fall off. Then in February, when the branches are completely bare, the most beautiful and large fuchsia blossoms appear. In my front yard, I have cactus that is over 100 years old. Each summer it blossoms, and each blossom blooms only once at night. You have to be very intentional if you want to see them. I had to take a photo to prove to a friend that it really did have flowers, because by the time the sun is out, the blossom is dead. It's a fascinating process to watch and wonder-filled. There are so many things that I don't know. So many things that we don't know or understand. It's so easy to judge and attack and declare them wrong. After all, no one consulted us about these changes. And isn't what we already know good enough? Sometimes I just want to say, you are wrong and you are irrelevant. And then I remember how adults listened patiently to my arrogant, know-it-all self of my 20s. How they approached me and how they approached my out-of-the-box thinking with curiosity and wonder. They posed questions that invited me to think more deeply. They could have said, you're wrong and irrelevant. Well, some of them did, but others did challenge me to think more deeply. And I have to pause with gratitude for their kindness and their compassion. And that gives me encouragement to do the same for the people that I am around. I haven't always had such a high tolerance for uncertainty. I have really had to work at it. But it has made my life so much simpler, and it keeps my blood pressure low when I embrace ambiguity. Author and speaker Kate Bowler said, "May you be surprised by your capacity for ambiguity, for the way it makes you a great listener and a good friend. For you are someone who knows how to feel your way around in the dark and squint for the stars." Alice Walker said that in wondering, the one who wrote The Colored Purple and other things, she said that in wondering about the big things and asking about the big things, you learn about the little ones, almost by accident. The more I wonder, the more I love. This, my friends, is a season of hope and expectations and wonder. I wonder what your wonderings say about who you are and what is important to you. I wonder if you can wonder and be satisfied without the certainty of an answer. I wonder in our search for whatever we search for, if we miss out on truth and beauty or miss out on the little things because we are looking for answers. I wonder if I can turn the page. During this season of light and hope, may you be filled with wonder and curiosity. May your expectations be reasonable. May your deepest desires be sprinkled with some holiday magic. And may you be pleasantly surprised or perhaps struck with awe and wonder by what the world reveals to you. May it be so.
Thank you, Kikanza. Now I'm wondering how generous we might be. Our practice here at UUSM is to dedicate half of our weekly Sunday offering to support the life of our church, and the other half is being used to give to organizations that do work in the world that's sometimes too big for us alone. This month, half our Sunday offering will go to UNICEF. UNICEF now stands for the United Fund for Children. That doesn't go with the acronym. It used to be the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, but I guess they thought that was too much to remember. UNICEF is an arm of the United Nations mandated to advocate for the protection of children's rights, to help meet their basic needs and to expand their opportunities to reach their full potential. UNICEF is committed to ensuring special protection for the most disadvantaged children, victims of war, disasters, extreme poverty, all forms of violence and exploitation, and those with disabilities. UNICEF responds in emergencies to protect the rights of children. In coordination with the United Nations partners and humanitarian agencies, UNICEF makes its unique facilities for rapid response available to its partners and to relieve the suffering of children and those who provide their care. UNICEF is nonpartisan. Its cooperation is free of discrimination. UNICEF aims through its country programs to promote the equal rights of women and girls and support their full participation in the political, social, and economic development of their communities. Some of this commitment can be seen in UNICEF's work in response to the war in Ukraine. They've provided basic health resources, counseling and feeding children under 2, ensuring people have access to clean water, mental health support, education services for millions of internally displaced and refugee children of Ukraine. That's just one place they work. There are many ways to give. You can check out our slide, or you can check out the order of service to find the instructions for how to give electronically. Cash and checks in the collection baskets are always welcome, or you can deliver them to the office. Thank you so much for what you give monetarily, and especially for all that you give of yourselves to build our community. I invite our ushers to come forward now, and we can give and receive this morning's offering.
Hi. When all the world is a hopeless jumble, and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? All right. Let us rise in body and in spirit for our final hymn, We Are the World, and I will be inviting a special guest vocalist to join us up here and co-lead this hymn with me. Mia.
Many talents.
Oh no, this is not it. Here, please. There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world was come together as one. There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are all part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving all our lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. Send them your heart, so they know that someone cares, and their lives will be stronger and free, as God has shown us by turning stone to bread. So we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world, we are the world, we are the children, we are the children, we are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. Oh, we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make better days, just you and me. When you're down and out, that seems no home at all. But if you just believe, there's no way we can fall. Let us realize that a change will only come when we stand together as one. We are the world, we are the world, we are the children, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving all our lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving all our lives. It's true, we're getting a better day, just you and me. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me.
The music this morning was perfect. Thank you. What's left to say? We are the world. Go make it better.